All right, guys, so I actually got my boy, my mentor here, Emanuel, to come on here for this video to kind of introduce himself as well. So, Emanuel, if you want to do that.
For sure. So my name is Emanuel. I've been day trading now for 5.5 years. I originally learned because my father, he had been trading at the time for like 3-4 years, and he finally found just massive success in the markets. And it was COVID, everything was on lockdown. So I spent 3.5 months sitting next to my dad, trading with him, learning from him. And eventually he funded my account and I started trading. And on my first day, under my father's mentorship, I made $715 day trading stocks. And this was after 3.5 months of paper trading. And then from there, I dedicated my entire life towards trading. I was trading full time while being a college student at Georgia Tech. And then I graduated 2 years ago. And then I started creating content online, started making valuable resources for people to follow in the trading space. And that kind of grew and people were seeking, started to seek out mentorship from me. And then that's kind of how my mentorship program was born. My first ever student was 2 years ago, and that was my 18-year-old cousin, Greg. And then once the mentorship kind of became a real thing, that's when Yuri, I think he was basically one of my first students, first 5 students. And that's kind of how it all happened. And yeah, it's obviously developed into something massive today. I would like to think I'm leading the next generation of profitable traders. That's always been my motto. So
I mean, you've got a great track record in terms of students. So a question I wanted to ask, what did you kind of see in me when I was starting out? Because obviously I've had a lot of success with trading. Was there anything kind of stood out to you in me as a student when I first started?
I would say you just asked a ton of questions every single day. Like, every time I looked into the chat, there would be 2-3 questions from you about the setup that we just took, what I saw in it. And you just worked really, really hard in the beginning. You went all in and you put a lot of work also outside of trading hours, which I was just really impressed with. And it was almost to the point where I thought the questions were almost like, it was like too many questions, but that's a good thing actually. And as a mentor, I love that. I love answering questions. I love talking about trading. So when I see a student super enthusiastic and super hungry to learn, like Yuri was, it's a really great opportunity for me to just, share all my knowledge. And I know he's actually going to take it seriously and pick it all up and apply it. And that's exactly what he did. And that's honestly why he saw success so quickly. I also think there's partially you just picked it up so fast. It almost, I don't want to say genetics, but it felt like that. Like you were just kind of, it came so easy to you. It clicked so quickly. On one hand, I would say it's because of the mentorship, of course, but on the other hand, there's just something about your personality and your work ethic, and you also just naturally gravitate towards trading, and you understood it really easily.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's kind of what I would literally did, is just questions. And yeah. So what kind of value do you think a mentorship brings versus without mentorship to someone's trading and in terms of like progress they should expect?
For sure. I mean, if you really think about it, we have teachers, professors, coaches, mentors in all other aspects of our life. Like when I grew up, obviously I went to school, I had teachers that taught me. In college, in Georgia Tech, I had professors. When I used to practice Taekwondo or take any sport, you have a coach that teaches you how to play. And you play tennis like Yuri, you have a tennis coach. You play an instrument, you have someone that teaches you that instrument, right? You can learn how to play an instrument off YouTube, but it's going to take you significantly longer versus you have someone who's actually showing you how to play, the guitar or something. And for me, I know the power of mentorship firsthand. I obviously, because I'm a mentor, but number 2, my dad mentored me. So I was a direct beneficiary of having a really solid mentor. And my father, it took him years to become a profitable trader because he had to learn it by himself. He didn't have a mentor. He didn't have a framework. He had to experiment, and he, developed a lot of bad habits along the way that he later had to kind of unlearn and then learn how to trade correctly. So it took him years. And then when he taught me, it took me about 3.5 months to start making money. When I taught my 18-year-old cousin, it took him about 4 months to start making money. And then when I taught Yuri, I mean, it was basically what, like
2-3 months?
Yeah, 3 to 4, basically the same thing. So, do you need mentorship to become profitable? I mean, I suppose you could learn by yourself and figure it out yourself, but it's going to take significantly longer, and it's better to expedite the process. And a lot of people are are a bit reluctant to invest in a mentor because obviously mentors cost money, whether it's me or someone else, they cost money. But you're going to end up losing probably an equivalent amount of money trying to figure it out by yourself, or you're going to lose time. And time is honestly probably even more valuable than money in the first place. So it's just better to find someone that you could trust that have verified results, and you're just going to expedite the entire process.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I seeked out mentorship in the first place, and obviously why your mentorship community has done so well. I have one last final question. So obviously now I get to live trade.
Yeah.
I get to actually take those knowledge that I learned, and I'm actually a coach in this program now.
Yes.
What kind of made you say, you know what, this kid's ready for this?
That's a really good question. Number one, I know you have prior experience with like tutoring, because I know you used to tutor in math. So that's number one. Number two, you were kind of like one of my first ever students. So you already have the raw experience to be able to give other people, educational lessons and stuff. And you also have the results, because, the results speak for themselves. You made a lot of money with trading. And you're also, I could just tell that you enjoy teaching, and you're someone who is really professional, because for me as a coach, a lot of my students, they invest a lot of money to learn from me and my coaches. I need a coach that's going to exemplify the professionalism I'm trying to, that my community holds. So Yuri is kind of everything that I just mentioned. He has the results. He has a passion for teaching. He's very eloquent. I know he's professional and serious. And to be honest, you can make the case that no one is ever quite ready to start live trading or start teaching. It's something that you become really, really good at. And it takes time to develop. When I started mentoring and live trading, I wasn't perfect. I had to develop and I had to get better. I had to get better at multitasking. I had to get better at explaining my thought process while I'm actually in the trade, managing the trade in real time. And that takes time. And I also, as a mentor, for me, me actually mentoring made me a better trader. And I feel like Yuri is at the point of his trading career where if he mentors, rather than it like distracting him and being a negative for his trading, I actually think it would help him, because teaching is the ultimate form of mastery. And I think Yuri is finally ready to start teaching and, not have it affect his trading. And he's going to become a better trader in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really appreciate this opportunity. And obviously I had kind of my first week or two of doing this, and I just love this so much. And that's part of the reason that I'm making this channel and starting kind of to my realm of beginning to kind of teach and inspire other people to do what you've done, what now I've done, and what other countless people under his guidance have done. So yeah, that's all I've got. And yeah,
I'm excited. Well, if this is one of the first videos of the channel, everyone that's watching this, you're in good hands. Subscribe, like the video, leave a comment for feedback, and I think you're going to find a ton of value in his content. So subscribe and listen up.